Welcome to PowerPoint lesson number 1. Okay, so as you can see on my screen, I have opened up PowerPoint. This is the recent screen, and you know that because it says recent here, and it lists all the different documents that I've had open in PowerPoint in the last couple days, all right? But for right now, I want you to look at this section here. Your page, just like my page, should show you a variety of templates. Yours may look a little different or in a different order, but these are all templates that you can use in PowerPoint. Now, if you click on one, it's going to show you a version larger. You can choose from different alternative or variant styles. And if you find one you like, you click Create, or you can close it. Click, View, scroll through some of these changes, create, or close. All right. Now I'm going to simply open a blank presentation. Once it is open, you can see that the main slide that you're working on right now is large and it is repeated over on the left side. These are the slide previews over here on the left. As you build your slideshow, you will create a long list of slides here. This one in the larger view is your active slide. To type on a slide, you click and you type. Okay. Now notice as I type or when I click, I have a dotted border around the text box. This border is called a placeholder. Several lessons that you'll have in the future will say click on the placeholder. So you click on the border to select everything inside that box. Now, if I had instructions to select the placeholder for Skyline High School title, I would click, see how it's now active, and then I would click on the actual border to select everything inside. Okay, so these are the placeholders. All right, once you have something typed on your slide, you can go up here and you can use cut, copy, paste. You can use format painter. So let's try some things. Let's say I go into Skyline High School. I've selected the placeholder and I'm going to change the font to blue. Let's say I go in here and change it to a thick, heavy Arial black. And I think that's good. Bold, italics, underline, you know how to use all of those things. I'll check that off. Now the other one, it's new for PowerPoint, is this text shadow button. It adds a shadow behind the selected text to help it stand out on the slide. When chosen, see how it adds a shadow behind your words, making them stand up and give it a little bit of a 3D look. Okay, now I'm going to go down here and add a subtitle. Let's say I'm doing it for business computer applications. That's the name of our class. If I want to copy this style, I'm going to click on Format Painter. Now notice that I have not selected the words like this. I've just selected the placeholder. Okay, I've clicked on that border. The whole thing is selected. I'm going to click Format Painter. Then all I have to do is click one time on top of this other text box and the entire style is copied over. Okay, I think I'm going to make it a little smaller, however. But there you go. Okay, so all I had done is I selected the placeholder, clicked Format Painter, then clicked one time on the other placeholder or the text box, and the style was copied. Let me hit undo. Okay, so that's the clipboard group. Now, I would like to insert a new slide. So notice there is a slide section on my ribbon. New slide, and I have 9 options. Title slide is what you're looking at here. Title and content, see how you have a small title heading and then a body where you can do several things. There's a section header, to content, comparison, title only, blank, content with caption, and picture with caption. Okay, we'll go over these options on another assignment. First, let's go to title and content. This is the default slide for most presentations, okay? So if you click to add title, let's say first hour, whoops, and then click to add text. Let's say today is Thursday, okay? Hitting enter, the default notice is a bullet list. Tomorrow is Friday. I hope the weather is nice, okay? So I'm creating a bullet list. To change my bullet list, I again click the placeholder. I can go up here and change it to any style of bullet that I'd like. Sometimes I want to edit what the bullet looks like. I can click the drop down, go to bullets and numbering here. Notice the same option is here, but I can come down here and change what it looks like. Let's say I want it to be smaller, maybe 90% of its original size, and I'd like it to be the bright blue. Okay, go ahead and click OK. And now that bullet is smaller and blue. If I think the bullets are too close to the text, I can select the text like this, look up in my ruler area. Notice that the first arrow indicates the bullets. The second arrow indicates the text. So I'm going to click and drag, and it's going to move my text away from the bullets. I could place it all the way here or bring it back to here. Okay. Now, if I didn't want bullets, I could simply use numbers. And if I need to change anything about the numbers, remember, I'll go back. Click the drop down, click the bullets and numbers, change the style. What do you want it to start at? Those kind of things. Start on, let's say, 5. I want it to be even smaller. Let's do 75% of the original, and let's change it to purple. Okay, so now I've got numbers along with the text. If I ever want to center my text, my alignment is here. If I want to indent anything, notice, ooh, that's something good to point out. When I indent on a bullet list, my text is going to get smaller at each level. Okay, so on PowerPoint, when I indent, it's thinking that I'm changing list levels, so it's going to change the font size. And then if I want my text to be columns, I can use this option, which I don't, but I'll show you that anyway. This one is the line spacing. Do I want it to be more spaced out or regular? Okay, so that's the first section of the paragraph group. Back here in the font group, there's one more thing that I want to let you know about, is this button here. This is character spacing. It adjusts the spaces between characters. So if I want it to be spaced out even more, I can choose that, or tighten it up so they're almost right on top of each other, or set it back to normal. Okay, this one is the case sensitive. Do I want it to be caps only, lowercase only? Excuse me, sentence case is capital letter at the beginning of the sentence, lowercase, uppercase, capitalize each and every word, or toggle, which I don't think this font will allow me to do. I'm going to go back to uppercase. Okay, so this section, new slide, font, paragraph group. We've gone over quite a few things. Now, I'm going to insert a new slide again. I can click the drop down and choose title and content, or the shortcut for a new slide is Control M as in Mary. That gives me a default slide of whatever I've used prior. Okay, so this slide was the same layout. So when I click Control M, it's going to give me the exact same type. Okay. All right, now if I'm working with a slide and I accidentally get rid of the title, if I want to delete anything, like clicking on the placeholder, hitting delete, there's a reset button and it will bring back those title or placeholders that I got rid of. Now, if I change my mind and I do not want this type of slide, I can go to layout and I can choose a different style like to content. And now I have a different style. Even when I have text typed on it, I can go to layout and I can change the style that I have chosen. Layout is easy to change. Okay? All right. Next, let's look at these placeholders. So let's go back to my this slide here. If I click on the placeholder, okay, what if I want to change the way it looks? Notice that I have a Drawing Tools Format tab. I can go in here and add style to my shape. I can fill it with color. I can change the outline and give it a little bit of effect. I can change what the text looks like. It's almost like a word art style or text box that I can add style to. But back at the Home tab, if you go over to the Drawing section, notice that I have some of the same tools. So if I click Quick Styles, it's going to give me some options. Now I'm just going to hover and show you how it gives you an example of what some of these options might look like. Okay, so if you click one and it applies. This is the same for this one. Click on the placeholder, choose a quick style, and let's use this one. It applies a little bit of professional style formatting to your slides. Okay, now let me show you over here on the slide preview. As you start to make a collection of slides, let's do second hour. Let's do a third hour, and I'll do a fourth hour. Let's add some style. Now I'm going to use my Format Painter. I'm going to select this text box by clicking on the placeholder. I'm going to double click on my Format Painter so it stays on. Click my second slide. Click once, third slide once, and fourth slide once. Okay, now that is still on. Do you see the little paintbrush next to my arrow? I need to turn it off when I'm done. So now you can see that all of my slides look alike. Now, if I wanted to, I could have, with this slide selected here, I could hit copy or Control C. I can place my cursor wherever I want, even in between slides, and I can hit paste. And now that slide is copied, and I could come up here and say this is supposed to be 6th hour. So you can copy paste these styles. You can use Format Painter to apply a change. Okay. But what if they're in the wrong order? Notice that I put 6th hour between second and third. You can click and drag and rearrange just like that. You can also rearrange through something called the Slide Sorter view. So if I go to the View tab, go to Slide Sorter, they're laid out like playing cards. I could click on this 6th hour and just drag it to the end, and it rearranges for me. Or I can click on 3rd hour and I can hit delete because maybe I don't want it anymore. But then I'd have to go back to normal view, and I can see all my slides are here. Okay, now the last thing I want to show you for lesson 1 is something under saving. If I go to File, Save As, so I said File, Save As, I'm going to click Browse, and I want you to notice that where it says File Name and then Save As Type, you're saving as a PowerPoint presentation. We're going to talk about a couple of these options during the unit, but make sure the default is PowerPoint presentation. Then I'd like you to look at this area here, the Tools drop-down. I may have to go in and change some options. So let's click on Save Options. And this area here, Embed Fonts in File. Sometimes when you're working at home on a computer, you may not have the same fonts that you have here at school. So if you embed the fonts, this says embed only the characters used in the presentation or embed all characters, okay? So let's just click this one and say okay and save. So now my presentation should be embedded. The font should stick with the presentation. If you're ever interested in watching a slideshow that you've created, you can do it with a quick access menu from the top. See, there's this little drop down. you can choose start from beginning as an option, and then you have a slideshow button, or you can go to slideshow tab and say from beginning or current slide. And when you hit from beginning, it then will show you your slide presentations, and you click through either with enter, arrows, or your mouse click. And when it's done, it goes to black. To finish it, you hit escape. That concludes lesson number 1.